are already back. They are already back with their fourth single from Friend of a Phantom coming up on November 1st. Hopefully it's their last single so they don't release the majority of the album before the album drops. If they do release another single, I will try my best to restrain from reacting to it and save it for the album, but with these guys it's just impossible. I've been waiting ever so patiently for this because I had to sit through a whole day of school without clicking play on that little button on YouTube, and then I got home to record and the gardener next door started up his whole thing and it was too loud to play it, so I had to just kind of sit here for like an hour and not listen again. But the wait is over and I cannot wait to jump into this one. I'm not going to beat around any bushes here. For those who are new, VOLA are my favorite band ever. I think they have the perfect songwriting formula, perfect for balancing these lullaby, soft, sweet melodies with these crunchy, genty riffs, and every song they have ever put out, I've loved. So I have nothing less to expect here. And besides that, I think that all of the singles they put out so far have gotten better. I think Break My Lying Tongue is an improvement upon Paper Wolf. And I think I Don't Know How We Got Here is devastatingly beautiful and one of their best songs ever. But this one looks especially interesting, and I'm especially curious because it features Anders Fridén of In Flames, who are a massive band. And so as curious as I am about the sound and the way this affects the whole thing, the whole formula, I'm just excited for what this can bring to VOLA because, like I said, In Flames are a huge band, and we'll see if this can maybe get them some new fans and some new following because they absolutely deserve it. They are starting to take over the prog scene here, and I'm hoping this single can just drive it home for them before the album releases. Let's jump straight into Cannibal by VOLA featuring Anders Fridén. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's do this! Oh, we're here. Woo! Oh, Adam's drumming. And the music video is so sick. Adam has a shirt on. Asgard. Nobody does melodies like they do. Whoa! Little key change. Oh my god! This is becoming my favorite already. Anders has arrived. Adam, fuck! Yes. Everything is just falling into perfect harmony. Yes, 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 yes. Falsettos, check. Bass tone is ridiculous. I forgot to mention another reason I was excited for this one is because it's actually not 3 minutes long. Oh, it's so warm. Are we dropping or are we... I'm so happy right now. The album of the year is coming on November 1st. Oh. Key changes, the little synth details. Third chorus already. This is chorus of the year for me right now. Jesus, the harmony between them. I feel like we've done everything already. Where else can we go? We're building somewhere. I know we are. Oh, we're still going. These guys are special. I am so proud of these guys and where they have gone to, what they have become over time. This feels like VOLA announcing their arrival to the big stage, getting a feature as big as Anders onto the track, and being able to make him complement so well with their sound is just a little bonus to it all. I listened to the song again immediately after finishing it because I've realized, especially with bands like VOLA, where things are so subtle in certain areas and so straight in your face in others, that I really need to listen a few more times and let things sink in before I can truly speak on a track. Because I think the old me listening to VOLA and how they've developed would have been a bit disappointed in the way the song ended, and how with a song that is a bit longer, they spent almost the last 2 minutes building up that final chorus and that final moment. But I realize now how important it is to really think and analyze why bands make decisions, especially after getting to talk to Adam before the show at the Troubadour, and him really breaking down how intricately they think about their songs. If they're trying to tell any specific story, they really dive into what tones, what flavors, what moods, what things to hit, what notes to play, all the keys to really tell that story and create a personal soundscape. And I am so glad that they extended that outro the way they did. I think it's an absolutely perfect way to set the tone for an album, to build that intensity and to keep people wondering, but also satisfy it all at the same time. So absolutely no complaints there. And I think it is almost the anti-Break My Lying Tongue in some ways, as they almost overextended it, but to me it was delicious. Let's just go through the song as it is, chunk by chunk. The intro riff is very simple with a few bends, but it is as impactful as you can get because the drumming and the bass have such an energy to them. Such a rough, beautiful, pure bass tone on the song, and that's something that I always say for Nikolai, but I think out of the singles, this one had the best tone possible for the song, and probably the best bass performance out of the singles as well for me. The riff took a few different forms during that first half of the track, but the fact that they didn't really bring it back into anything actually made me happy, because they went on lots of different little adventures during the song while still keeping that core sound. They transitioned it into a slightly more syncopated version with that closed hi-hat groove from Adam during the verse, which is absolutely delicious. Asger's vocals just get more angelic every time. time. Every single song. I don't know how it happens. His falsettos and his voice just get even more pure. I think what a lot of it could be is that he's gaining some confidence, perhaps, because he seems like a very humble, very laid-back person, but he is really coming out of his shell and absolutely shining on all of these songs. Humongous shout out to Asger, and we can't forget that he's playing these riffs in the background as well. His fingers were busy. Lots of little bends and little pulls throughout the song, little runs. That might be part of what makes VOLA so special, is the fact that he can control the melodies that the guitar creates with his own vocals, because that's always been a standout for me with them, the contrast, those harmonies, and I think it's great that it's generating from that same creative source. You can hear it on full display here with this song. Again, a huge shout out to Adam's drumming during the verse. I think it was a little bit more interesting and diverse than maybe another single like Paper Wolf. Lots of little details and little hi-hat rolls similar to the guitar, with these little accents on the splash, on the thrash cymbals for some texture. This was the best drumming that he has put out in a while. Arguably my favorite drum song I've heard from him besides 24 Light Years. I was super intertwined and just like finding all these little details in his playing in the song, and thought it was incredibly tasteful, incredibly impressive, and just keeping that closed hi-hat groove was smart during the verse because it allows for much more of a release, and it sets the table better for Asger and his vocals. So I want to give them a round of applause there, because it was a beautiful first verse, and that chorus is absolutely explosive. My God, beautiful, 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 perfect melody, really. Very simple. He has become more and more minimalistic in a way in his hooks, Asger, because he doesn't say a whole lot. He's not incredibly wordy or syncopated in his singing. It's not like any sort of spoken word going on. And I love that, because I feel like when a band has to spell out exactly what they're trying to say in a story with too many words, too many vocals, and not enough empty space, then maybe they're just not that great at telling the story. You want some of it to be up to interpretation from the audience, and you want to be able to figure some of it out on your own. You want to be metaphors here and there, and I think that plays really well into this song again, because I don't think the song, from what I heard, is just outwardly about a cannibal. It just seems like inner battles with yourself, with other people, a mental kind of thing, and more of a mindset of destruction than being an actual cannibal. The simplicity there in the chorus is matched and elevated by the contrast between Asger and Anders. Those low growls that aren't too high in the mix cut through Asger's falsettos, and it's the perfect punch. Martin is doing his thing with those little details in the synth that create all the warmth and all of the contrast that make the melody even more sweet, and he does an excellent job with that during the song too. We'll get to that breakdown later, but those little accents that he added there were perfect as well. But the chorus deserved to be played as many times as it was during the song. For me, I think chorus of the year right now. I have grown to truly love the choruses on the other singles and a lot of their other songs, but this one hit immediately for me, and I wanted more of it every single time. So that's a great sign. And then of course we have the Anders verse with the harsh vocals, where we kind of dropped that riff back down, and they did that kind of classic thing where you would throw the intro riff back after the first chorus, which is somewhat of a formulaic thing, but then when you just suddenly transition into that same riff dropped all the way down, that's when you go, wait a second, what's going on here? Anders kicks in with those growls, and it all kind of goes up a gear, but it's not too heavy or too overbearing. I'm not good with harsh vocals, and I make that very clear in a lot of my videos, but I think it worked excellently here. Lots of texture, and it wasn't overdone, so absolutely no problems. And that melodic, wiry synth slash guitar breakdown in the middle at around 3 minutes and 10 seconds, probably my favorite part of the song, despite that chorus being so good. After having such a harsh verse and all of those grimier textures with Anders' vocals, I really appreciate that the breakdown was almost not a breakdown. It was incredibly jumpy, and I think at times it was changing keys as well, but had such a beauty to it and such a balance, because it keeps you moving, it feels heavy, it feels melodic, it feels controlled, and feels like it's absolutely telling the story of this push and pull, and it made me kind of feel something that I couldn't explain. That is the best thing that you can get from music for me. And of course, that long extended outro with both of them repeating those choruses, but the one thing that keeps getting progressively better and heavier and more beautiful and stunning and perfect is the GOAT Adam Janzai on the drums. ridiculous outro. I don't know if you guys heard everything that was going on, but kind of like the way he explodes at the end of Inside Your Fur, at the end of Witness. But instead of ending the album like that, we're starting the album that way. And we are building that intensity. We are building that suspense for what is to come. They are letting them know that VOLA have arrived. They are letting everyone know that they are here and they are not playing around, because that is absolutely how you start an album. One of the songs of the year for sure, and you guys are gonna have to let me know what you thought of that, because I cannot say a bad thing about it. And maybe next time VOLA come back to Los Angeles, they can bring Anders with them again, and instead of meeting backstage, they could, bring him out and play the song with him. I know the LA crowd would love it. Thank you again to VOLA as always, and I have nothing else to say. VOLA forever, and I will see you guys next time.